Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all having a wonderful Monday out there. I love Monday, and I don't roll with people that don't like Monday. I don't even mix my energy with people that are hating on Mondays because it's just an attitude thing. It's an adjustment you need to make if you hate those Mondays, because that's 1/7 of the week, which is 1/7 of your life if you hate every Monday. So embrace every day. It's another beautiful spring day here in the South. I've had my watermelon juice today. I've had some mangoes today. I've had a green smoothie and gotten some work done. And soon after this video, I'm going to go take some vitamin D. Anyhow, today I want to talk about starting a raw food diet the right way. Guys, I do videos every day. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that red subscribe button right now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I'll try not to get distracted here. I've put some peanuts out in my front yard. I found I have two tribes of squirrels. I've got the backyard tribe and the front yard tribe, and I hadn't been feeding the front yard tribe, working on training them to kind of come up in different areas and entertain me a little. They're my friends. So starting a raw food diet the right way. You know, it's good to get off to a good start on what we do. And so many people, it's like, you know, do not get off to a good start on this raw food diet. Mostly because they try gimmicky stuff, they try things that's kind of extreme or whatever. But in golf, there's a term called a mulligan. When you screw up, you take one more shot. So everybody that has struggled or hasn't had success on this lifestyle so far, take a mulligan, take a step back, and start over, and start from the ground up and build. And the first thing I always recommend is educating yourself, and educating yourself outside of YouTube. I've just got my iPad with me today. I'm just going to open up my Kindle. I got a lot of stuff on here. I've mentioned books before, but like there's just so much good stuff out there. And you're just like, so many people are just passing around and sharing bad information. They're sharing stuff that's by people that have no credentials instead. And a lot of people don't even read. I know people that don't have that do this lifestyle that haven't read one single book. Now, I've recommended books a lot of times, and you'll probably already know a few of the people I'm going to recommend. So I'll start with some of the ones that I haven't recommended as much, although I have mentioned them before. Colon Health by Dr. Norman W. Walker. That's a great book that I don't know that I've ever heard anybody else mention other than myself, or maybe it's been a long time, because this is one of the first books I read, and it gives you an awareness. It opens your eyes to how the body really functions, and it shows that how I never really thought of the colon as a second brain, or how much your colon actually controls the overall health of your body. But that is an excellent book right there. I'll save the ones that you know are coming for later on down the line. I've got one. This is a good one too. This was by Norman Walker. Yeah, Dr. Norman Walker again. But I've never heard anybody mention this one either. Fresh vegetable and fruit juices. Now, it's a book on juicing, and I'm not a juicer, as you guys know, but learned a lot. That guy knew a lot. Didn't know everything. Nobody knows everything. There's none of these people for me that's a guru. There's nobody that I'm like their disciple or there's my way. Here's Mr. Arnold Ehret, Rational Fasting. I've also got his other book, The Mucusless Diet. I'm not a big one of his guys, but the Detox Miracle Source book, it's a good book. I've had that since the beginning. 80-10-10, great book. Okay, now I'll come to it. My two favorite books, though, on the subject, Becoming Vegan by Brenda Davis and Becoming Raw. Those are the Bibles. I'm telling you, if you, like, you can cut to the chase right there. If you were just only going to buy two books, buy those two. Those are reference manuals. Anytime I want to know something, anytime I need to look something up, I go there. Because Becoming Vegan is a very in-depth study of, you know, this thing from a scientific point of view. And also, too, if you just want to get a little taste of that, go to YouTube. I'm not saying that, you know, don't use YouTube, but Brenda Davis has this talk on there that's about an hour. It's an hour, hour and a half, and if you just search Brenda Davis on YouTube. It will come up because various people have uploaded it, but it's just a good explanation of everything vegan. How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. That's another wonderful source right there. And that is somebody I watch all the time. I take the stuff, like I say, and that's what, as we're talking about starting a plant-based diet, starting a raw food diet starts with the plant-based version of it. And if you're standard American diet, eating standard American diet, then you just want to focus on going over to being vegan, plant-based. Then I think the progression from there, instead of jumping in and saying I got to be fully raw, is, you know, if you're going, is to go to the next progression being whole food plant-based. In other words, you're not getting all the frozen stuff and stuff in the bags and this, that, and the other, but you're eating whole foods. Then you just start plugging in more and more raw. Now, I've mentioned before, I eat cooked food. I am not against cooked food. I ain't turning up my nose at cooked food, but the one I don't understand is eating cooked food for breakfast. I would recommend everybody eat fruit. Everybody eat something raw for breakfast. It's breakfast, breaking the fast. So I don't know. I mean, like I say, I don't have anything against eating some cooked food from time to time, but I have no desire, no inclination for it in the morning. So as the first thing, you know, just focus on eating a raw meal a day. That's a good start right there. You know, first work yourself. If you're standard American diet, you know, transition over to a plant-based diet. If you're plant-based, go ahead and work on getting to, you know, and some people will be able to transition over from standard American diet to whole food plant-based diet or high whole food plant-based diet. But it's just so much. I just think people are putting too much on themselves when they come from the standard America diet and they're like, declare, I'm never eating cooked again. I'm raw vegan from this day forth. So, you know, work your way over and think of it as a work in progress. Think of it actually as a work in progress that's never going to be finished. I mean, I'm almost 7 years into this and I'm still paying attention. I'm still observing my body. I'm still finding different nuances. I'm still finding like little different things I can do to feel a little bit better, make this work a little bit better for me. Okay, so you start, you know, now you eat whole food plant-based, you have raw breakfast every morning. It's not that much of a stretch to just, then you start extending it. You know, you extend it. You have you go from raw till noon to raw till dinner. You keep good food around the house. I will say that one over and over and over. I almost want to make a note to myself to say that in every video. Keep your environment clean to the best of your ability. If you live by yourself, or if you completely control your environment, or if the people you're with eat like you are interested in making the switch, get rid of all the garbage. Why keep it around? Why keep it around? And if you do, you know, if you do share space with others that don't eat like this and, you know, you can't necessarily do it, just compartmentalize your brain. If you have to take one shelf for yourself, one shelf within the refrigerator, one part of the cupboard or pantry, whatever you have to do, and just, you know, program your mind to that is my food. This is not my food over here. I mean, it's a little bit easier. You know, I had roommates. Pretty much since I've done this lifestyle, I've been pretty solitary. When I was in Hako, I had a few roommates, but it was just like, you know, that was their food. Okay, roommates are a little bit different because, you know, unless you're just, in other words, what I'm saying, roommates and family are different. But before my mother, you know, had to go in the nursing home, when I was living here with her, she kept all kind of stuff around here that I don't eat. I didn't eat it. It wasn't my food. But that, especially in the beginning, you don't necessarily have, you know, you don't have that strength. You're not used to eating like this. You still have the cravings for that old stuff. So clean up your environment as much as possible and replace that bad stuff. Don't just clean it up and have nothing in the house. I think somebody told me the other day they didn't have any bananas in the house or any ripe bananas in the house. Unless you're one of the ones that hates bananas and are going to do this lifestyle without bananas, Never, 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 never don't have ripe bananas in the house. I've kind of gotten into a flow here. I always had it in Costa Rica. There's never not ripe fruit in my house, because that'll get you into trouble as a beginner. If you're trying to do the best you can anyway, you're hungry and there's nothing in the house. So have plenty of ripe fruit around the house and extend that thing. I'm going to do a video soon on some little tricks and things for summer that you can do, but everybody has to do this thing differently. Some people need to put a little bit more into it. Go a step. You can go the next step beyond just having fruit around all the time, is cutting it up. I used to do that in Costa Rica, just more for efficiency's sake and just having it than I wasn't going to have a problem eating something else. But I would just cut up these massive bowls of mixed fruit. I mean, massive, I'm talking, and then just go by and eat on it until I ran out, and then I'd cut more. So anything that you can have prepared, do what works for you. You might even have to go to the point of like having a meal actually ready to go. But the more you have ready to go, the more you have good choices available. That's what our brain will default to that. In other words, if you're sitting in the house, you're hungry, or you have a craving, and you have good food in the house, of course, you can get in your car, you can get whatever your transportation is, and you can go get something else. But it's going to be harder. And one thing I'm learning, this is just kind of incidental, one thing I'm learning from some online marketing stuff is we're lazy. Our brains are lazy. So we don't want steps. I'm working on this. I'm watching these things about sales funnels, about how you want to make things where it's one click, because if people have to click on this and they go here and then they have to click on this and go there, a huge percentage drop off. So you want to make it as easy as possible. In other words, you get hungry, boom, you eat it. Yeah, you might give in to the craving, the desire, whatever, and go out and get something, but you're more likely not to than if you didn't have anything good in the house. And yeah, just kind of like I say, just think of this as a journey. Think of this as an adventure. See what's going to happen around the turn. Don't be so impatient to get to the end. Part of the fun is just seeing where it goes. How do I feel? What changes are going on? Ooh, you know what? I felt like this 2 years ago, and now I feel like this. But anyhow, just a few tips to hopefully help get you going. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.